Today on Faces of Florence, Eddie and Louanne Stewart. It's that time of year again, time for Operation Christmas Child. Eddie and Louanne share all the details about those amazing shoe boxes and how everyone can get involved.
Hey, welcome. We're so glad you found us. Radio Free is a 24-hour Christian mixed radio station broadcasting right here out of Florence, South Carolina. So when you're driving around town, remember to tune it in to 92.5. And if you're outside of the Florence area, you can listen 24 hours a day at radiofree.cc.
Well, Eddie and Louanne Stewart, welcome so much to the Radio Free studio. We're so glad to have you here today. Now, this is sort of a special edition of the Faces of Florence series that we've been running on our Facebook and our YouTube page because you guys are our first couple here for the Faces of Florence. But and you guys wear a lot of hats here in Florence. You are definitely Faces of Florence. People know who you are. But I think it would be safe to say that you guys are both closely associated with Operation Christmas Child. Yes. I think a lot of people who know you as the shoebox people, right?
Yes.
And so that's what we're going to talk about today. The season is here. The time is close, actually.
Yes.
So we want to talk a little bit about what that is. Now, a lot of people know, of course, but there's somebody out there listening right now who's not really sure what this is all about. Eddie, can you kind of give maybe an overview of what Operation Christmas Child even is?
Operation Christmas Child started in 1993. I think that's right, with actually one church in Charlotte that packed a large number of boxes that first year to send actually over to Bosnia, I think.
A specific location at that point?
Right.
Yeah, a specific location.
Because of the war.
Yes.
And so that was kind of the beginning of it. And so from there, it has grown tremendously to reach way close to 200 countries now that shoeboxes go to each year. And so that's kind of where it started and where it's at now.
And it is associated with Samaritan's Purse. Is
Correct.
that the beginnings of it was Samaritan's Purse?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like how, because it's grown huge.
Right. It came out, Franklin Graham was the one that was first approached about doing the boxes for Bosnia.
Gotcha.
And so he contacted the church in Charlotte, and then about, I think, 11,000 boxes came from there. And then after that, some churches in Canada helped. And they had like 28,000 that went that first year to Bosnia. And then they thought, well, how can we do this on a bigger scale? So they started doing it. And it's just grown. I mean, now they got like 15,000 year-round volunteers that help. And a lot of those, about 9,000, are on this side of the ocean. And the others are on the other side of the ocean with local churches and volunteers and people that help distribute once the boxes get in country to where they need to go. So,
All right. Well, again, for whoever's not familiar, yes, it's a shoebox. Yes, it's got some gifts in it, but there's a bigger point here, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about that. What's the actual objective of these shoeboxes?
yes, we call the shoeboxes Go Boxes because
Go
it stands for Gospel Opportunity.
Okay.
Because when you see the shoebox, you don't just see a shoebox with gifts for a child. You see the child because that's who it's going to be ministering to. And because that's the most important thing. And I think about in 2003 or 4, they started a new program that they call The Greatest Journey. And the children that come to get a shoebox are offered the opportunity to go through a 12-week discipleship program. And they actually have little caps and gowns, little yellow caps and gowns. They get to graduate in 12 weeks. Many of them come to know the Lord during that time because it tells the gospel. And so it's not just a shoebox with gifts in it, but the gifts that they do get are very important because most of these kids have never had any kind of gift. Right. And when they get a box, they go, is this all for me? I don't have to share this with anybody, because they're used to sharing toothbrushes and everything else, you know. So it's kind of overwhelming for them to get a whole box of gifts. But when you hear the stories of children that have received them that are now working for Operation Christmas Child, it's amazing what made a difference to them, you know. Like ask you to put a letter or a picture in so you can they can identify. And some of those kids carry those pictures around for years and years with them, So it's amazing what little things mean to these children.
All right, well, I'm in. If I hadn't heard about this before, this is totally a beautiful opportunity. Let's talk about, Eddie, about what countries are these boxes being directed to? You said over 200. How does that work for each box? It seems like it'd be kind of hard to figure out what box kind of things goes to what person. What's the kind of approach for each box?
I think it's really actually a little less than 200, but countries that they go to. But I guess Samaritan's Purse actually decides what countries they'll go to.
Okay.
Sometimes they're countries that have been through maybe some war or
Right.
maybe
Or
a
earthquake
terrible
or some
storm,
natural
earthquake,
disaster.
like Haiti.
Yeah.
Some countries that have had terrible hurricanes, like down in the in the Bahamas area, whatever. They sent lots there. But they're chosen. But when they actually arrive in the country, the local church is who actually dispenses or distributes the boxes, and so it's actually an opportunity for the church to share Jesus with people in that community, and that's where the gospel opportunity and all that comes in. But it's not Samaritan's Purse delivers them, but actually the local church in that country actually gives them out, and they make have big parties or whatever the case may be for that.
That's exciting, and the gospel stands on its own, of course, but how nice to have an opportunity, an actual physical thing to
Right.
start that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe can you describe, Louanne, what it looks like on the ground there? I don't know if you've actually been where they've received them, but maybe walk us through what that would be like. I know you've talked to a lot of people. I know you have a lot of connections in the organization. What's it like for that kid who gets that box?
On the other side of the ocean.
How does it impact them? Yeah.
Yes, we think about all the stuff we do to get ready to send them over, but once they get there, then each child, and I don't know how it works because they don't even put a number when you're processing, they don't even put a number of boxes. All they do is put boy, what age group, or girl, what age group, and God does it. God puts it all together. And there are amazing stories of how people have prayed or children have prayed for exactly what's in their box. And that's what excites me, because when I'm making a box, I'm going, I really don't know what to put in here. So I try to listen to God. One year he told me to put reading glasses. And I'm going, seriously, God? These are kids. Put reading glasses. What strength? 2.5. Okay. So that's what I did. I don't have a clue what happened to it, and they ask you to open everything that you put in there so there's no trash, because we leave the garbage on this side of the ocean and not pollute because they haven't a hard enough time with garbage.
Sure.
So, and open things so kids wouldn't tear them open as they open them. But normally what they do, they bring them in and they'll have a party, but before they give them a box, they don't know what they're getting. They come in and share the plan of salvation is what they usually do. And then I've never gotten to go. I've always wanted to go, but people that have said, that they go, it ends up being they have exactly the right number of boys, exactly the right number of girls. And I'm going, that's got to be God that does that, And it's just things that they have. Like little boy, the older boys like soccer balls, so that's a good thing to deflate and put a pump in there,
Mm-hmm.
The girls, a lot of times we do sewing kits, manicure kits, things like that for the older girls, Of course, the stuffed animal always goes.
Mm-hmm.
They ask for like a wow item that would be exciting and get them excited. But it has always amazed me how God puts it all together. And even the cooperating churches over there, that's how they decide where they're going is who's helping on the other side of the ocean. And they always go to different people. They very rarely, I don't know of any child that's ever gotten 2 boxes. And I don't know how that all works out because, you're working with some of the same partners, but they've moved into other areas of the country. And so it's amazing how, it's a God thing. The whole thing's a God thing. And just to be a small part of that just makes my heart happy. I mean, I don't know. I just love to do it. It's fun.
Well, everyone can be a small part of it, which is
Right.
wonderful, right? So walk us through a little bit. Speaking of parties, I was reading on the website packing parties.
Right.
And we're, like I said, we're getting kind of close to the deadline here, but you can certainly this weekend have a packing party. What does that look like? What have you been a part of a packing party?
We at our church, we just normally individuals pack them, but now some of our children and youth have actually gotten together and packed several, good many boxes. And what they do, they have the items that go in the box, and then each child goes around through the room to a table and picks up one item out of each area. It might be some pencils or a pen, or maybe if it's for a girl, it might be a hair bow or a hat or a ball, and they'll pick one item out of each container to place in their box, and then they, when they get to the end, and the lid goes on and it's marked whether it's for a young child, middle-aged child, or an older, and then that label's put on top, and so they get to celebrate and put them all together, which is a party. And some churches do hundreds and hundreds of boxes and have them spread all over their gym or a fellowship hall and pack them all at once, with their church members, which is a big party.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
absolutely.
just exciting. They're able to pray over them,
Right.
and ask God to use those boxes in every what way He can. So it's just like you say, it's a party, but a good party.
Well, there is still time, and again, this is something I can hear somebody out there probably going, I don't know how to do this. It's really pretty straightforward, right?
Yes.
And the information's available
Right.
on the website.
Right.
Yes.
SamaritansPurse.org. You can find on the front page of that, it'll have Operation Christmas Child, and it'll tell you everything. You can use any kind of shoebox. You don't have to have one of the special ones. We do have some of the corrugated ones at Calvary if anybody wants any.
So I think you brought some with
Yes.
you, didn't you? Yeah, show
Yes.
one of those. So if we
One
want to
like
get
that,
if we want to
yep.
get some of these going, you have some of these at Calvary?
We
Okay.
do have those at Calvary, and there's a brochure that we have too that tell you what to do.
Okay.
You mainly pick if you want to do a boy or a girl and what age. You do like 2 to 4, 5 to 7, and then 9, and then 9 to 14.
Okay.
The older boys usually have fewer boxes. I don't know why, but that's just what statistically they say. And last year was a hard year.
Yeah,
2020 was a tough year. We were very thankful that OCC wanted to do Operation Christmas Child. You want to share the numbers difference?
Last year, nationwide, over 38,000 churches did not participate.
That normally would.
That normally do.
And did not participate last year, and which made the number of shoe boxes drop drastically, way over 1 million.
1.5.
Gospel opportunities didn't happen
Yeah.
because of those churches, which that's very understandable during
sure.
the time we were. But they're hoping this year that that number is not near that big. So
Yeah.
that, children will be able to receive a box.
Got to make up for some lost time.
Right. They say the numbers are ticking up because I was checking with our Charlotte people and just said that, things look really good for this year. So hopefully, because we were down, Calvary, we only took in like 18,000, and the year before we'd taken in 24,000. So, but we lost one little church that did a bunch. And so when you start losing those churches that do over 1,000 apiece, it doesn't take long. But so we just encourage everybody, if they've done boxes before, to do more than you've ever done before. A lot of people will do it for the number of grandchildren they have if they're older, or if the number of children or the number of members of their family. When I first got into OCC, when we were here in Florence, I went to a meeting at College Park, and there was a speaker there who had actually been in Romania and had been at one of the distribution things, and she was saying that there's not a single family in the United States that could not afford to do 20 to 25 boxes.
Ooh.
And I'm going, whoa,
Yeah,
what in the
yeah.
world?
Yeah, right.
But what a challenge.
Yep.
And you can do it, shop all year long. Get your school supplies when school supplies are on sale.
Right,
Watch for sales. Walmart, a lot of times if they've got something on sale for $1, if you'll buy it all, they'll give it to you for 50 cents, 75 cents,
Right.
I don't do that. I'm not a good coupon shopper or anything like that, but I have friends that are, and we got book bags one year for like 50 cents. I'm going, are you kidding me?
Wow.
So, and God brings those opportunities for you when you go shopping. But just think about what you would want or what your child would want, that kind of thing. But they, like simple things like a comb or a brush or toothbrush is a major deal. Now, we can't put toothpaste anymore because of expiration date, and we can't put candy anymore because of customs. They can get a whole shipment stuck in customs because of that. So they're very careful about that.
Like the older boys, we have a church that for the older boys boxes, which is a smaller number a lot of times, but older boys can use things as a older teenager, young man, so to speak, in some countries. They put hammers and screwdrivers,
tools.
Things that those boys can actually use for a trade almost,
to make a living.
To use. And so, which is kind of exciting. And it makes the box heavy, but there's not a weight limit.
There isn't a weight limit.
No
Just size. Whatever fits
right,
in
just size. Whatever fits in
the
there.
box. So, I mean, you think about, a carton could hold 15 or 16 shoe boxes, and if it's got 15 or 16 hammers in it, that's a pretty good.
It's going to be a hefty box.
But it's a great thing for those older boys to have that they can use. Actually maybe help dad or maybe go get a job somewhere. Swinging a hammer. So that's kind of neat.
So again, this is a gospel opportunity, which is the main point.
Yes.
But there's a lot of practicality in there as well. Wow, this is exciting.
Yes.
All right. So now, just to be clear, everybody is invited to do this, right? This isn't a denominational thing.
No.
This is anybody.
Anybody can do this.
Businesses can do
Okay.
it. We've had businesses in Florence to come and get a box of boxes
to give out to their
in their customers, or either even hand out among their business. People in their office say, "Hey, we challenge you to do a box or whatever." And so it's kind of neat who actually participates. It's open to anybody.
Oh, that's exciting. All right, so what are your hopes for this year? You think we're going to get back up there?
I hope we get back up. My goal has always been 25,000 from this area. We've never, since we've been doing it, I think 8 years. This will be our 8th year for our church to do it, to keep up with the numbers, and we've never made 25,000. I would love to see that happen. I'd really like to see 30, but I'm not going to be greedy.
Right.
But if we could get somewhere close to that, or either closer back to what we were doing before 2020 hit, and just because for every box we get, it's one more child that hears about Jesus. And so that's the exciting thing to me.
All right, so to kind of wrap it up, I got my box, filled it with my stuff the specifics are on the website as far as if it's a little girl or a boy. Right. Okay, so I got it filled, I'm ready to go. Now I'll bring it to you guys at Calvary.
You
Okay.
can bring them to Calvary. We'll start taking boxes on Monday, November 15th.
Okay.
And run through the 22nd of November. We're collecting in the afternoon from 4 to 7, Monday to Friday. Saturday is like 11 to 1.
Right.
And then Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4. And then Monday, the last Monday, is a much longer day. We run from 10 to 6, I think.
And that's where all the church...
That's where the other...
And there are also, I'm not sure how far people away that hear this or watch, but we have drop-off locations in Hartsville, in Darlington, Sherraw, Dillon. We have Mullins. There's a drop-off. There's a drop-off at Evergreen Baptist Church just outside of Florence, and also down in Lake City.
There's a drop-off. That's our new one, brand new one.
In Lake City.
Lake City First Baptist will be collecting as well.
They collect there, and they bring their boxes to us.
Gotcha.
Once they're in the cartons.
On the trucks.
Right.
Yeah.
So if someone's watching this and they are out of this area, there's a list of those drop-offs?
You can find that on the website also.
You can do that. You can Google it, put your zip code in, and it'll come up with your closest drop-off location.
Excellent. Well, we will include all of that information in the form of links below this video and stuff.
Okay, good.
And so people can easily get to it. But I just want to say thank you guys for your passion for this. It's a big deal. And I love that you guys pushed through the hard year and are still hanging on and still hopeful. Because like you said, you said repeatedly in this interview, God's doing this.
Yes, God's doing it. We're not doing it.
It's bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than us.
Yes.
It's
bigger than anybody.
He's in control.
Yes, exactly. Well, Eddie, Louanne, Stewart, thank you so much for visiting here today. And we're gonna get up to that 30 at some point, right?
There you go.
All right,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you.